for a lot of couples using erotica together, like to suggest that you want to try something out, like send a story about a move or a scenario that is appealing to you, and like just be like, oh, this turned me on. And then the other person can interpret from that you're interested, and you can kind of read. And like, that's a really good way to introduce something that might be more difficult to talk about directly. I think just like being able to lift from real life scenarios too, because it's not like some fantasy that's impossible to recreate. It's something that you could really do with your lover.
Welcome to Vaginas, Vulvas, and Vibrators with Jordan Donnell. This is a safe place to learn about women's health and sexual wellness. I'm your host, Jordan Donnell, physician assistant, women's sexual health educator, and intimacy coach.
This podcast is intended for educational purposes only. It is not intended as medical advice. Please seek your medical professional's direction and guidance. The views and opinions on this podcast reflect my own and my guests and are no representation of any institution or organization that I work for. Welcome back to the Vaginas, Vulvas, and Vibrators podcast. Today I have Carly with me, and I'm so excited to chat with her. She is an Instagram phenomenon, I think is the right word.
Am I?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Do you know, before I met you in New York, how many people would send me your content on the regular?
Really?
Yeah. My friend Jamie, shout out to Jamie, she is so fangirling right now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm fangirling about a fangirl. I didn't know I had those.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So tell us a little bit about what you do before we jump into our episode today.
So I'm the creator of Aurore, which is a space for confessional sex stories. Erotica that's all based on our own best experiences. Obviously, there is some fiction in there. I do not fact check, but the idea is that I want stories that are recreatable. I want stories that are not like really outrageous fantasies. There's something to me about a fantasy that takes me out of the moment. And like, if I'm having to work out if something could ever really happen, I'm no longer getting turned on. And I'm also a writer professionally before I started writing erotica professionally. And so I've always really looked for well-written smut, which unfortunately is somewhat difficult to find. There has been in recent years, I think, kind of a resurgence of younger and hipper writers, but growing up, at least, a lot of the stuff that I read, the romance that I read, was just like not well written. And that always bothered me because I was like, as a smart woman who enjoys reading and like wants to be challenged in some way, like give me a story that's hot but also smart. Like speak to me on my level. We don't have to like dumb it down to talk about sex, or like how dare they dumb it down because women are reading it. You know what I mean? Like, so I just didn't feel like when I started Aurore that there was something that was like on the level that I was looking for. So I just made it. Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. So erotica, I think, is so powerful. When I look at erotica, it helps give me ideas for what I want to do in the bedroom. And when I go to like sex parties and things, it helps expand my idea bucket list, essentially, my sex bucket list. Yeah. Why do you think erotica is so important for women in particular?
Well, I think there's a big divide, and a lot of women do watch and enjoy visual porn. I think there's a lot that do not connect as much with visual porn. And I think it's because women prefer to use their imaginations in order to get off. Like, I think most of us at some point in our lives have, like, for masturbation, thought about a past encounter that was really hot, or thought about one that we want to have. And we don't necessarily need visuals to inform our imaginations, right? And I think that's always been the beautiful thing about reading anything, is that you get to create your own picture of how something looks. And while I do actually encourage writers for Aurore to describe body types and details, because the writers are also diverse, I want to offer those real normal bodies to people as sexy things that they can put into their fantasies. You're still creating a picture that works for you. And so it's super individualized. Whereas like visual pornography is what it is, yes. And there are a lot of particular body types, particular ways that vulvas need to look or often look in pornography that I think can be damaging. And I think that can really take women out of the moment or being able to enjoy it. So with erotica, you kind of lose all of that input that is visual and just get to use your own imagination. You get to put yourself into that situation, or you and your lover, or whoever you're fantasizing about. And I think that that's so powerful.
It's so juicy. Yeah, I think erotica is amazing. And I love how over the years it's expanded, like not just books, but we're talking like audio erotica. We're talking even just like the short stories. Side note, I started a book like 5 years ago, and it's literally short stories of all of the sexual encounters that I've had. And it's so
She's gonna write for Aurore too.
juicy.
I feel it.
It's so juicy. And it's so fun to just like reimagine those. And like definitely like you write it and you get so turned on
Yes.
while you're writing it.
Yes.
And do you think there's like an advantage for people writing their own erotica as well?
Totally. You get to relive it, like you're back in that moment. I also offer people the opportunity, like I said, based on real experiences. But if something went wrong or something didn't work out the way you wanted it to, I offer people the option to rewrite the ending of their story. And I think that's super powerful, super healing, that opportunity to like reimagine what could have been. So like I have some stories that are like about breakups. It's like a final fuck that the person never got. You know, it's like you can write yourself closure, right? And I think that's really special. Yeah, I just think that writing, and I started writing myself, and I don't think that I fully realized how I was using it as a healing technique until I started Aurore and I started the writing workshops because I was like, how do I get stories from other people? Because I was like running out of stories. I mean, I can only fuck so much. Like I had all my friends writing for me and stuff, and everyone was like, also, that was an interesting thing. Like when I started it, I asked everyone I knew for stories. And a lot of the people that were really comfortable talking about sex, like were really not comfortable talking or writing about sex. And that kind of was surprising to me, just like who would go there and who wouldn't. But yeah, so when I started the writing workshops, I witnessed how people doing them were just like coming into their own, like finding their voice, just like coming into a workshop super shy and then coming out of it like sharing out loud, just so much more confident in their words and their desires, obviously, because that's what you're writing about. And yeah, it's not something that I foresaw when I started Aurore, but it is so, so powerful to write your own stories.
Writing your own stories is empowering. I am going to share a funny story with you. So I have this like thing where if I write it, it comes true. So I love to write stories of things that I want to happen. So, oh my God, we're going to share a story.
Please.
So this one time there was this massage guy that was very attractive. So I like wrote this whole entire thing about how I get fucked on the massage table. And like 6 months later, it totally happened. And it was great. It like literally like I wrote it out.
I have so many questions.
And I have this other fantasy that I'm really working on. Jason Love. You know who Jason Love is, right?
Do I?
The porn star.
Okay. Yes.
The Jason Love.
Okay. Yes.
Like I have this fantasy about him and I haven't written it yet, which is why it hasn't happened. And I need to go write it because it's going to happen.
Yes,
it's absolutely going to happen.
You are going to write it into existence.
It's like a manifestation thing.
It totally is. And I do have writers that have told me that they like wrote things into an existence. I also have questions about this massage. Hold on. So this is actually a really common story that I get submitted. And also people like regular massage places where they're like asked if they can get a happy ending. Was that how it was?
No. So this was like a guy I had been like getting massages from for years and was referred to me from another friend. And it was totally like platonic. We had a very like close relationship, even though I just like had a massage once a month. Sometimes I feel like I can have very personal, deep relationships easily, especially for men. And so we just vibed. We just vibed. And then I had told him, yeah, I wrote this story. And so then like the next time I went in, it was like, we're going to make the story happen.
Yes. So that actually is the power of writing your own story, is like sending it to somebody and like, or telling them that once you've written it, it's like you have something to share. It's not just like, oh, I have this fantasy. It's like, I actually wrote this story. And then they can be like, about what? And it's an opportunity to introduce like something that you want to happen to them. And then they feel like it was their idea, kind of. Or they're like, it gives them permission and consent to do something that maybe they would have wanted to try but didn't know was okay with you. But yeah, like, okay, so it wasn't so much you were like going to a massage place and all of a sudden a stranger like asked, but I'm like, where are these massage places? First of all. Second of all, I'm like, sometimes with the stories, I'm like, ooh, like I get a little like, ooh, like this could go so wrong. Like it makes me scared. Gotta ask consent for these things to all the masseuses out there.
Yeah, definitely don't recommend. And I mean, I think there's probably a lot of red tape.
Yeah. But you would think it would be like super risky to offer.
Oh, for sure. It wasn't necessarily an offer. It was just like a thing, you know?
Yeah.
And
well, you guys had like do you have sex every time? Just once?
Just twice.
I'm like, well, it seems like you should every time.
Yeah. No.
Massage, like connected to sex, is one of my favorite things. And I think this is true for a lot of women, that like just being so relaxed and like the foreplay, it's like the amount of foreplay. It's like, okay, if anyone touches my body for an hour, like I'm going to do whatever.
Well, and it's like, you know, they're getting in between all your cracks and your inner thighs and all of that. I'm like, good God, I know you feel something down there.
Yes. I want to date a masseuse one day.
Yeah, you should.
I'm going to write that. Write this down.
Yeah, it's crazy. I write whenever I have like, most stories I try to write, but there's definitely some where it's like, that was literally insane. I have to go write it. Like,
yeah,
you can't make this shit up. Like my orgy I wrote about, or
I'm like, yeah.
Oh my God. Recently I wrote about, I haven't finished this one yet, but I took a guy home from the airplane.
Oh my, were you sitting next to him?
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah. Our flights got delayed. Everything got canceled. Delta put us up in a hotel and our rooms were adjoining. And I got his number too, but like our rooms are adjoining.
So you fucked at the hotel in your layover?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love that. That we also have a story about that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was one where I was like, is this real? Whatever, it's fine. Like, again, I'm not fact checking. But like,
this shit is like the shit that only happens to me.
Yeah. Because I'm like, I'm never sitting next to a hot person. Like, if I was.
I spotted him in the
Dr.
airport.
Tara met her husband.
Really?
They were sitting next to each other on the plane.
No way. Yeah. I meet so many people on the plane because I like to
fly more.
There you go. I say I'm introverted, but then I strike up a whole 3-hour conversation with whoever's sitting next to me on the plane.
Oh my God.
Every time.
Okay, noted. Everyone should note that, I feel. Like, I think everyone needs kind of ideas for how to like, you know, have more meet cutes or just like connect with people.
Well, and I think we're in a world where like dating is hard, right? And where you like are using the apps, trying to meet people in person, but it's like, where are you in your day-to-day life? Like, it's all around you.
Yeah.
Whoever you're trying to date. True. But you got to like get outside, right?
Yeah.
But like you can go to the airport, you can go to the gym and meet people. Like for me, I love to pick up men at the gym. I love to.
Do you do like the big weights?
No, I'll just be like, my favorite is when we're doing cardio. So I won't usually approach somebody the first time I see them, but like when we're doing cardio and just get on a machine next to them and be like, hey, you training for something? Or, you know, just like strike up a conversation.
So yeah, you're not introverted.
I'm good at this, aren't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be hard for me, I think.
Or DM sliding. Oh my God, I'm a DM slider for sure.
But then you're in like their requests folder.
Not if you do it right.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
We're all taking lessons today, okay?
There is a way to do it and there's a way to do it well. I was just talking with a friend of mine about doing it in the DMs because he also slides in the DMs, and we were just kind of joking about how to do it well and do it right.
Let's tell men how to do it right. How do you think, like,
Oh, do not message me with like you look good. No. Ask me like something, ask me a question about myself.
non-sexual, right?
Yeah.
Start non-sexual and slowly get
Like,
there.
oh my God, that meal looks so good. Where'd you get it from? Or just like something like that where it's very like platonic in like opening up the conversation.
Yeah, and I think because of what we do, it signals to a lot of men that they can talk about sex with us right away. And like that is just not true. Like we're full people that like we yes fuck and we do this for work, but we also have like other interests and like a
Yeah.
whole ass life, you know?
Yeah.
So
Sex is not my life.
I
Trust me, I
mean,
love
I'm like,
back shots.
sex
and...
is my life. No.
But there are other parts of my life. Exactly. So yeah, that would be my advice. What advice do you have for people sliding in the DMs?
Be hot. Yeah, that's a big one. Be interesting and be hot.
Don't be boring.
Don't be boring. No. And ask questions. Yeah. I think that like I see that a lot with dating issues for women is like that they go on dates and like just ask a million questions. And I think it's partly because of the male loneliness epidemic that like men don't usually get asked questions, so they love it and they just end up talking about themselves the whole time because they're like, wow, this is so amazing. But it's like, yeah, it is amazing to have somebody interested in you, but like it's a conversation. It has to go both ways.
Exactly.
So, and I ask a lot of questions. I feel like I'm always like doing some like investigative journalism with people, but like, yeah, of course I like to talk about myself too.
Yeah.
So
You have to be equally as interested in me as I am interested in you.
yeah, if not more.
Yeah. I find that like most of my dates are good dates. It's just like it's either a vibe or not a vibe.
Yeah. I don't vibe very often. So when I do, I like hold tight, you know?
What is the dating scene like for you right now?
Oh, I'm not dating. I'm in a long-term relationship.
Oh,
But I'm just
yes.
thinking about, you know, my past because I
Mhm.
spent a lot of time single in New York, and New York is notoriously one of the worst places to date.
Which I find so surprising because there's so many people there.
Yeah, but that's part of the issue because there's so many women there. There's way more women than men, and the women are all like amazing, doing awesome stuff, gorgeous, just so smart, so cool. And there's just way less men. So I think that men feel there's always another amazing woman available. So they don't put as much effort into connections because it's just like go back on the apps. But honestly, I don't know. Like I'm 40 now, so like the last time I was on an app, I was like 34, I guess. And even at that age, I already felt that I was above a threshold that a lot of men were willing to go for because they assume if you're in your mid 30s that you like want to have a baby tomorrow. That's not the case, but they like, you know, they can take you off the age range, right? I always do like 0 to 100 on my age range because you never know.
I love it. I love it. So getting back to like
Yeah.
erotica,
Mm-hmm.
what are some genres? If you're wanting to start reading erotica, like where the hell do you start? Because there's so many options.
Yeah. So, like, honestly, I don't read that much romance, right? Because I feel like probably when we talk about the genres and the tropes of romance, that's like mostly like the happily ever after stuff. That is not my jam. And it is because it is often like rescuing a woman or fairy stuff or like just fantasy stuff that I can't get into. I really want the like real relatable stories, which is like I read my own erotica, like what I publish on Aurore, and I don't really read that much else. I did read a few things because I felt like I had to like know what people were so excited about. Like I read the A Court of Thorns and Roses. I didn't. Yeah, I mean,
I don't do fairy stuff personally.
yeah.
That's
I mean,
not for me.
there was some hot bits, but that was one where I was like, yeah, the writing was like not that great. It was very like cliffhangery. Like every chapter was like, what happens next? And sometimes you need that. It's like reality TV in a book, right? But I also read a book by Colleen Hoover. It Ends With Us.
Uh-huh.
Did you read that one?
I did, and I saw the movie.
Okay, yeah, I saw the movie too. That because that was like the best-selling book for a moment, and I was like, there was like no sex in that book.
There was
Like,
no sex.
There was no sex.
Most of the books that I've been reading, it's like they're erotica, but they're not. There's no sex.
Okay.
I need sex. Give me PNV, please.
Yes. Like that was like all the sex was like suggested and not performed, and like compared to Aurora stories, like that shit is like we get it all. It's like raw. Okay. So yeah, like I don't read much erotica or romance because I tend to not like it. But I will say that I watched Heated Rivalry.
I was literally just about to ask about that. I have not yet.
Oh
but
my God.
You are like the 10th person to bring it up, and I need to go.
You do.
Watch it.
It's a really beautiful show. I haven't read the books, so I can't comment on the books, but that is an enemies to lovers story. Although it's kind of like a vague enemies, like they're not like serious enemies. But that one, like what I think is really hitting for women with that is that it shows this like toxic situationship that evolves into real love and care. And I think that that's something that so many women were like excited about because we've all had this like unavailable guy who was cagey but very tender when we fuck, but then kind of disappears. You go a long time without hearing from them. But like in the show, like you get it all comes through. But like, I'm like, the difference is that they were that way because they couldn't come out versus like the toxic situationships that we have are because they're just, I don't know, immature men. I don't want to say anything like too mean, but
yeah, unavailable. They're just very unavailable.
Yeah.
That's, you know, you're saying this story and I'm literally thinking to myself about like my last relationship and how the other girls were all situationships, and it's just how they got led on for literally a year, almost a year, and they would see him like once every 6 weeks and like literally were accepted the bare minimum. And it just is like, don't hold out for something better from that individual. Like move on, find somebody who can give you exactly what you're looking for and want.
Yeah.
I have the perfect situationship right now. It's very interesting because it was made up very clear up front, like, hey, this is all I'm available for. And I'm like, great. I just got out of a relationship. Like that works well for me. And it's literally just like, hey, you free? You know, there's not a lot of communication between, but it's still so respectable.
Yeah.
And like, it's great.
I think that the communication up front is a really important thing. And I think that the issue is that if you communicate that, you're going to probably scare a lot of people away. And so I think what happens, unfortunately, is that people don't say what they're available for because they don't want to lose out on a potential connection. Yeah. But like if you don't, you end up hurting people. And I think like, I know like you were going to ask probably about communication in erotica, but like I think it goes back to learning how to say what you want. And that is something that is really like laid out for you in a lot of erotica. Like I'm just going to speak to what I publish because I can't really say what else, but like the communication that you can learn from like people negotiating like a BDSM scene, like all of these things that are in the kink community are so helpful for people no matter your situation, no matter the relationship type. Like there's so much we can learn also from queer relationships. There tends to be a lot of communication there as well. Like in gay sex, you have to because there's risk factors that are big, right? But it's like the same in straight relationships too. Like I don't know why men seem to struggle so much with communication, but I think it would help if they all read erotica.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting that you say this though, because I think that the biggest thing is that They're afraid they're not going to have somebody to fuck.
Yeah.
But when you communicate what you're actually available for, you're more likely to like get what you want.
Instead of like a person who's acting needy or something,
Yeah.
and that you don't have
Yeah.
time for that. Yeah. Yeah. I think that, yeah, it's just scary for a lot of men to communicate what they want or what they need. Maybe they're afraid that women are going to get mad or like label them as something or like a bad guy. But I think that if you're upfront from the beginning, it just, when things get confusing, that's not good for anyone.
When we look at erotica and like the communicating what you want, I feel like that's one of the hardest questions to answer when somebody asks, like, what do you want? How does erotica help you figure out what the hell you want in the bedroom?
Well, I think that you can just like borrow stuff from it. Like, because it is hard when people ask what you want. Like, you're vulnerable, you're on the spot. It could be hard, even if you know what you want, it could be hard to like think of what. So, like you said, like having situations to inspire you and like things that you want to try out, but literally like lifting scenarios from stories. And I think that that's something too, like for a lot of couples using erotica together, like to suggest that you want to try something out, like send a story about a move or a scenario that is appealing to you, and like just be like, oh, this turned me on. And then the other person can interpret from that, like that you're interested, and you can kind of read. And like, that's a really good way to introduce like something that might be more difficult to talk about directly. But yeah, like I think just like being able to lift from real life scenarios too, because it's not like some fantasy that's impossible to recreate. It's something that you could really do with your lover. And like I always tell this story, I love it. So my partner and I have been together for 6 years, and that's like right when I started Aurore. He like donated to my Kickstarter campaign, which was like, that was a green flag. I was like, oh, and he was cool with it too, which is like not everybody would be cool with dating somebody who was like starting a business around telling their own sex stories. But in the beginning, like he was reading all the stories, super supportive, and he started doing this move on me one night when we were hooking up. And I was like, it was like a finger move. And I was like, are you doing this week's story on me? And he was like, yes. And it was a lesbian story. So obviously they had like amazing moves to share. And that is just like such a perfect example of how you can literally lift and like take educational content from erotica and then go and do it in the bedroom.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
So proud of him.
And this is so reassuring to hear, because I'm always like, is there ever going to be a man that will date me if I like put my shit out on blast?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I mean, like with the podcast, a lot of things is out there already.
Yeah.
Like, if all of my stories are really out there, like, are they really going to be supportive of that? So this is reassuring that there are people that might even actually get off to that.
I think that's also like, you know, practice what we preach, talking about communication, like being upfront with people that is something that you're going to do or share in the future. And like, I think for most people, it's just like a fear of the unknown, and it might sound crazy, but once you start talking about it, it's like, oh, like we all have stories, and like, yeah, we're all fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so juicy. What is like your juiciest story that you, not
My
necessarily
own?
yours,
Okay. I was like,
but like that you have read or published?
I can think about a recent one in particular that I thought was like pretty wild. It is written by a woman, and she had a crush on another woman who was in a relationship with a man. And the story is about just like wanting her so bad. And she details how she actually had sex with her partner. It's like there's a lot of now like hers and she, but so there's a couple, and then there's a woman, and the woman like comes into the couple, but not with the other woman, just with the man, and like did this in front of her, like because like she wanted to be closer to her, and like like was like fucking the person she fucked as like a means of like being with her, you know? And I was just like, damn, that is fucked up, but also hot.
Also real life too. Like,
Mhm.
not necessarily supporting power moves, but sometimes like power moves are fucking hot, and it's a true part of life.
Yeah, yeah. And I loved in the story, like they end up breaking up, and she says that the guy like came back to her to try to like fuck again, but she was like no, because she only wanted him in front of this other woman, like as a means of being with her. Yeah, yeah. I think like the
So
yearning really gets like the stories that are most powerful to me are the ones that are like there's something unrequited. So like this story goes on to detail her going after a lot of other women that are like similar to her, because this person just like wasn't queer, so they weren't interested, but they were, but they, you know what I mean? So it was like a very long process of like trying to connect and really be together, like trying a bunch of different people on, trying to get closer to her.
wow, I'm so intrigued. To be honest with you, I have not checked out your website before.
Well, it is time, girl.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, this is crazy, but like I just know you from Instagram, and I just see like your
I'm
Instagram
just famous on
posts,
Instagram.
which are, I love your posts, like the confessions and like all the little things. It's just so fucking juicy.
Well, so what we do too is like each story, I kind of introduce the concept or like the theme, or if it asks a question, and then people share in the like Q&A box like their own experiences with that. So that's like, I do think the Instagram is so good because it's like another forum for people to be able to share their stories in like little bite-sized pieces. One thing it's like interesting, I am on Substack too, but like when I try to do that on Substack, there's no like anonymous feature. Like on Instagram, they're not anonymous, but they're only, I can see who they are, but I share their stuff back without everyone seeing. But yeah, I think that that is a really important factor because it is still really scary and taboo to attach your name to sex on the internet. Like not everyone wants to do that. I think we've kind of just accepted that, but not everyone
Yeah.
is there, you know?
When you look at creativity and erotica in particular and sexual pleasure, do you find that when you are more creative, you're having more sexual pleasure as well?
I would actually say that when I'm having better sex, I am more creative.
Yes.
It really inspires me. Like if I'm feeling horny or just like into someone or very like sexy, that it really funnels into my creativity. I think like for writing, you need this like you need something unsettled, the unrequitedness again. So that's always really a good writing time for me. And yeah, creative in general. I think it's like if you have a crush, for example, it's like you're just like your life force is just so much stronger, and that goes into your creative life as well. And like you could just be like prolific in like all the things that you're doing. Just like the energy is so right.
It's so funny that you say that because, you know, I took a 19-month break or so from the podcast. And for a year of that, I was not having good sex. It was probably like the worst sex of my life. And then before that, I was celibate for like 5 months. So it's just so funny because it's directly correlated. I got rid of the ex, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I want to do the podcast again. And I
Yeah.
started having really fucking good sex again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so connected, I think. Like
Yeah.
just when you're open to receiving other energy and when you are receiving good energy, like that correlates to all aspects of your life for sure. Were you celibate like by choice, or
Yeah.
were you okay?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm going to be celibate for a little bit.
Did you like solo pleasure?
Oh,
or-
fuck yeah.
Okay. I was like,
yeah. Not that celibate.
I actually
Just
am doing
partnered.
like solo pleasure celibacy this month.
Are you really? I don't know that I would survive that.
It's hard. Yeah.
I'm about to go 3 days because I'm sharing a hotel with somebody, and I'm
Oh,
like, I might die.
yeah.
I might die.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard.
The funny thing is he listens to this podcast, and
So he
he's so
knows.
gonna know as soon as this comes out.
He's like, oh, so you were trying not to. Wait, who are you sharing a room with? Are you also gonna fuck this person?
No.
Okay.
It's a business thing.
Okay.
But yeah,
I think like solo pleasure is amazing and great. I think I was like reaching for it too much. And so like to get back kind of the slowness, I'm like, taking a step back.
I could definitely rabbit hole about solo pleasure for a long time because I also think sometimes I've used it as a way of avoidance.
Yeah.
And so like solo pleasure is amazing. And I think there's also some aspects of it that can be, I don't want to say harmful because that's not necessarily the right word, but maybe not conducive for what you're trying to do either.
Yeah, it's worth examining, I think, from time to time, like how we're using it for what and like to what end. And I also like a little bit of like deprivation and torture porn. No, like I think that like it's an edge in a way, right? Like it's a very 28-day edge. I chose the shortest month.
Of course,
so.
as you should.
Yeah, I didn't do dry January, so I'm like doing a dry February, if you will.
I love it. Awesome. Well, this has been so amazing chatting with you. Before we wrap up the episode, I have 2 questions for you. What is something that you are looking forward to having more of and experiencing more of in the near future?
Well,
Sexually.
yeah, thinking about solo pleasure, I am looking forward to being back in touch with myself in that way, but in a slower, like more embodied way. And I think that I'm going to introduce it back like piece by piece, bit by bit for that reason. I think like slowing down and just enjoying all aspects of life is something that I'm trying to do, and like thinking about the things that make me anxious or the things that take me out of that slower pace, like my phone, like Instagram. So it's like just like having things at like an arm length, they're still there, but like not having it all the time.
Chokehold on them.
Yeah.
Or them having a chokehold on you, rather.
Yeah. And like I think the like solo pleasure abstinence is like a way to be like, I could always do that. Like it's obviously always accessible to me, but like practicing like sitting with a feeling of a little bit of desire and discomfort and like slowing down with that is kind of sexy in itself,
Call me March 1st. I want to hear about it.
Oh my God, it's going to be
you
amazing.
might be a little busy that day.
Yeah, actually I'm fully booked.
Calendar is blocked. Do not bother me.
Oh my God, amazing. I can't wait.
What or how would you define pleasure?
Anything that feels good and allowing ourselves to like be in it. Again, I think that there's so many things that we take for granted that are pleasurable, and I'm really trying to reconnect with that, like morning coffee, being outside, walking a dog. Like I do writing workshops, and I had in my last one a prompt like asking people to eroticize every day, like something that they do already, but like make it erotic. And one person wrote about their skincare routine and just like how like sensual it is to like splash water on your face, rub all these serums, like do all this stuff for yourself. Someone wrote about making coffee as this like very slow erotic event that you're like, the suspense is building for it. And like I think that we are all rushing too much to like really take pleasure in the pleasures that exist. So we can slow down.
I love that. For Valentine's Day, I posted about romanticizing life. And it's just, it's true. Just find pleasure in literally every single thing that you do.
Yeah.
It's crazy. If you look at the journey of the podcast, I've asked this question on probably the last like 100 episodes or so. And it's crazy how it went from like sex as pleasure to like life is pleasure.
Yeah.
So it's fun to watch that
Yeah.
definition change over time.
Well, sexual pleasure is, but I think that you enjoy sexual pleasure the more that you have connected with other pleasures. It's just
100%.
more information.
Yeah. Well, thank you for chatting with me. Where can the listeners find you at?
readaurore.com, Read Aurore on Instagram, and I am, like I said, on Substack as well. Aurore Erotica there, I think, but also Read Aurore should work.
I love it. Awesome. And is there anything like your workshops going on that people should know about?
When is this coming out?
sometime in like March, April, May.
Okay, so by then I'm gonna have the Slutty Writers Society again, which is a monthly writing group.
Okay.
It's gonna be first Monday of each month, virtual, so people can join from anywhere. And that's writing to 2 different prompts, similar to what I just mentioned, like eroticizing your life, or something like sometimes we write about like body hair as it relates to sex, or our self-image insecurity. So journaling, free writing, and that's a really fun group.
Sweet. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me
You're
and
so
sharing
welcome.
and taking the time out of your day to be with me.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining today and continuing to bring awareness to women's health. If you love the show, please subscribe so you never miss another episode, and leave a review for others to see. If you want to see me on the daily, you can check out my bio for links to all my pages. Be sure to share this episode with your girlfriends. Thanks again, and see you next episode.